Hey guys, Toku, and today's video is a review slash criticism of the show Let's Talk Toku, Shout Factory's tokusatsu talk show on Pluto TV's Tokusatsu channel. Man, that's a mouthful. I've done that like 19 takes. It sucks. And it sucks like this show. Tokusatsu is obviously a thing that I love. It's been a passion of mine for over a decade. I'm a massive fan. It's one of the only things I watch weekly, and I'm a huge anime fan too as well. Below and above me here are all anime. I got manga over here. I'm a huge otaku. That's why my name is Flipotaku. But Tokusatsu means a lot to me, and when Shout Factory announced, "Hey, we have a 24/7 block of Tokusatsu shows coming up on Pluto TV," I was excited. Then they also said, "Hey, we're gonna have a talk show," and I was really pumped because there's so much potential, so many potentially great topics and conversations that you can get on Tokusatsu. But what we get is a show where you have two hosts, and this is gonna come off as mean spirited, and it's not because I'm just disappointed. Two hosts that don't know what they're talking about. Week after week, they are getting more cringy, harder to watch. The chemistry's not there, and the big thing for me was not that they said Ultraman is xenophobic. That almost put me over the edge. It's how they and this is the thing. Saying comments like that, like Ultraman's xenophobic, when if you do any research on Eiji Tsuburaya, any research in what he wanted out of Ultraman, you would know that that's not true, just at all. So you have people who are not educated. They say things that just aren't true, and the show is just boring. I don't understand how Shout Factory is continuously backing them. It makes Tokushoutsu look bad. It makes Shout Factory look bad. And honestly, I thought, hey, after the Ultraman comment, Squall went on Twitter and was like, hey, we'll do better, from now on. But the show hasn't gotten better. They say things continuously that just prove that they don't know what they're talking about. And the big thing for me, the straw that broke the camel's back, is how they have handled criticism, deleting comments, negative and constructive criticism. Yes, maybe the negative comments, but then again, don't delete comments. It shows that you are not willing to accept that you are wrong and to better yourself and to become more educated. And I'm not expecting people like Squall to know absolutely everything about Toku. I do, but I'm a lunatic. But I'm not expecting you to know everything about Tokusatsu. But if you have a talk show about a certain topic, you should be a little bit more educated on the topic. You know what I mean? Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. And as a business owner, if my employee constantly says things that are wrong and stuff that is borderline offensive and makes the company look bad, I would no longer have that employee. So I don't understand how Shout Factory is continuously backing these two. They seem very petty on Twitter. Like today or yesterday, Squall tweeted that not everything in life is about Tokusatsu, and it's like, yeah, dude, no shit. But you're getting negative feedback because you branded yourself as the Tokusatsu guy. People in my friend group know me as the mecha and Tokusatsu guy because that's how I've kind of leaned into the branding for myself. It's two things that I know a lot about, two things I'm very passionate about, and two things I've spent way too much time watching and learning about. So that's just my 2 cents. I think the show is not good. The production value is okay. They have good, and I can't talk shit because I have bad production value. I'm just looking in front of my iPhone 10. That's it. But man, when you have backing of a major company to talk about a certain thing that has a rabid fan base, you should kind of know what you're talking about and kind of understand that going into this, if you say something wrong, you're going to get criticized. And that just proves to me that they, one, don't care. If you continuously make the same mistake and don't improve on it, then you just don't care. This week's episode was about story, and it was one of the worst episodes. They're saying stuff that's wrong. It's very boring to listen to. And you have the opportunity with a talk show about Tokusatsu to really dive into stuff that's outside of the big three. And it always seems like, and I'm not saying this, but mostly Sentai and Kamen Rider is what they mostly refer to 99% of the time on the show. They very rarely talk about Ultraman. They have, they're starting to kind of talk about it more. But it makes me think of Shout Factory's kind of putting that in their ear because, you know, Shout Factory only has, you know, Sentai, Kamen Rider, and what I think it's Ultraman Leo is what they have for streaming rights. But with a talk show, you have so much potential to talk about the history of Tokusatsu. You could talk about multiple episodes on Shitaro Ishinomori and his impact, you know, the man that started it all. You could talk about Osamu Tezuka dipping his toes in the Tokusatsu world. You could talk about lesser shows that deserved a lot of love, like Cybercop. You could talk about so much shit here. So much stuff. Death Kappa, Kappa. You know, you have so much stuff that you could talk about. You could talk about, you know, canceled series, you know, like the Metal Heroes franchise and how that was pushing boundaries at the time of what Tokusatsu was normally doing. There is so much potential for so many great topics. Lost Tokusatsu, for instance, there's a handful of shows that are just lost to time, and one of those shows is an Osamu Tezuka joint that just, like, I think 8 episodes survived. So you could really talk about some cool topics, teach people, and learn along the way. Like I said, I'm not expecting you to know everything about the topic, but when you present yourself as the guy and you don't know jack shit about the thing that you present yourself as knowing a lot of, it's not a good look. And then when you take, obviously, constructive criticism, and you just kind of downplay it, or you know, chalk it up as harassment, and you delete comments, it shows that you're not able to internally look at yourself and say, I need to grow as a person, I need to grow as a content creator, and I need to grow my knowledge on something that I've aligned myself with. And that's all there is to it. If you know, if they, you know, he admitted fault, and this is why I gave him a pass about the Ultraman stuff, is that they were like, oh, you know, we'll try better, but they haven't. It feels like they're barely trying. It feels like two guys, one guy in particular, Squall, stumbled into a paycheck, and they're just doing the bare minimum to collect that paycheck. But yeah, I hope with this, you know, this Let's Talk Toku rally to get people to make their videos, hopefully they find a new host. You know, and there's a lot of good Tokusatsu podcasts out there, that you know, that are easy to find, and you know, everyone. I think people reacted way too heavily, or way too poorly, to the Ultraman comment. I do think it's a very dumb comment to make, but they have continued to not progress and continue to make false claims, and it's disappointing because they have the potential and they have the platform to do something great, and they're not. And guys, that's it for me. I'm Flip Toku. Sorry if that was kind of rambly. I'm just going off my emotions. But yeah. Anyways, guys, I'll catch you next time.